Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jack McGonigle. I head up accounting and finance recruitment for Michael Page's Saudi Arabia business. I'm joined today by Sammit Gambhir. Sammit was a candidate of mine based in Canada, looking to move back to the Middle East. I recently placed him into the Director of Financial Controls position for Panda Retail Group over in KSA. Sammit, would you like to introduce yourself and say hello?
Yeah, hello everyone. So thanks, Jack. So as Jack mentioned, I'm Sammit Gambhir, and Michael Page did help me get a role at Panda Retail, which is the largest retailer in Saudi Arabia. I'm a seasoned finance professional coming from Canada with quite a few years of experience. My latest role there was Director of Financial Reporting at Loblaw Companies Limited, which is also the largest retailer out in Canada. Academically, I'm a CFA and a CPA. Talking a little bit about my role in Saudi. As mentioned, so Director of Financial Controls. I'm in this role. I'm responsible for ensuring the accuracy and the integrity of the financial statements. Besides managing the whole accounting and control function. So I have roughly a team of 125 colleagues under various subgroups which roll under me: treasury, tax, inventory and costing, accounts payable, accounts receivable, GL consolidations and reporting.
Thank you, Sam. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about your experience in terms of relocating from North America to the Middle East, how you found the experience in moving across and being placed by Michael Page. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the recruitment market in Saudi Arabia right now and what are the trends in terms of adding to finance teams, both in Saudi and across the Middle East. So Sam, you were last in the Middle East in Kuwait back in 2013 before moving across to Canada. Firstly, tell us why you were looking to move back to the Middle East and start or restart your job career here again.
A couple of reasons, Jack. So yeah, I left Kuwait in 2013 and then I moved to Canada. So yeah, a couple of reasons. My family is still in India, so it's easier geographically to go visit my family. You know, my parents still live there, so geographically it makes a logical sense. Plus, another reason for one of the big reasons is Middle East does offer you, as all of us know, a tax-free compensation. So working in the West, the taxes, as we all know, in the Western world, the taxes are quite high and the cost of living is quite high as well. So it does make sense economically to that your compensation increases and the take-home salary increases, obviously, and along with that, the resultant savings. So I can definitely say that my resultant savings as a result of this move have significantly increased, and thanks again to Michael Page for helping me secure this position.
Cool, no worries at all, and yeah, it's something that we see an awful lot. Why expats live in the likes of Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, etc., because of those tax benefits that you just don't get in the Western world, I suppose. But look, it was 7 years or so since you were last in the region. What are the key changes that you've seen in the Middle East this time round from when you were last working here?
Yeah, I think to my surprise, when I now recently moved over to Saudi, I think one thing which I've seen, and I've not been to Kuwait in a few years, but one thing I've seen is the acceptance of the global talent and the people respecting and acknowledging the talent. I feel that was sort of a very welcoming thing, as though with the, we talk about globalization, and here is what you truly see, that yes, that nowhere, no matter where the talent comes from, the value they bring to the table is a lot more important
Yeah,
than than their geographical presence, or than their where are they coming from. So that is one thing which I felt very different from a decade ago.
yeah,
Yeah, and plus I believe that Saudi as a market, I've been to Saudi in 2009-10 for some business purposes. So
yeah,
Saudi as a market has also become very accepting, and I know Saudi is on a progressive agenda. So
yeah.
if I talk Saudi specifically, they're on a progressive agenda, and it is visible that the development which is happening, or the local talent, how they are upgrading themselves, which are definitely some good changes to see.
Of course, most definitely. And I think in general, the things that are happening in Saudi right now are obviously very exciting, and it is, as you say, attracting a lot more talent, both into KSA and from those already residing there as well. I mean, you've got things like the Vision 2030, all of these projects that are going on right across the kingdom, and it genuinely is, for a recruiter operating in that market, it's genuinely exciting seeing some of the opportunities for candidates like yourself. Um, how do you feel working in Saudi right now? Being part of this increase in the economy. How do you think it's going to benefit your career in the long run, Sam?
I think in the long run, I always see, as the economy grows, there are more opportunities for the corporates, right? So with the Vision 2030, the Saudi government is reducing its dependence on oil and investing in strategic sectors like health, education, tourism, which was never seen previously in Saudi, right? So I think all these factors are definitely helping boost the economy, and the various projects and initiatives the government is taking, even though there is a focus on upgrading the local talent and Saudization. I believe still the core is to improve the corporate, improve the economic health of
Yeah,
the country, and you know uh, yeah, and how you can adapt in that particular environment. So what I feel is, I feel very positive about the economy as such. And to your question, how do I see this in my long term career? To the point I was making earlier, as the economy grows, so is the corporate. So do the corporates. Grow along with the economic growth, and as the corporates grow, there is immense opportunity within the company and even outside the company. Uh, you know, uh, you know, with the growth that the economy brings.
definitely, definitely. Well, as I mentioned before, it's definitely an exciting time, and it's certainly keeping us busy at the moment with like you say, the corporates are recruiting, the local Saudi companies are recruiting. It is booming at the moment, I suppose. Um, how about your thoughts on the current Saudi job market, and I suppose tying into that, did you have any misconceptions before you moved there about what it would be like to work and actually live there? And does it differ, or do those misconceptions differ now that you're obviously actually working there and living there at the same time?
A few misconceptions, I'm going to say,
Yeah,
but and then I'll come to the job market. The country is progressing under the leadership of King Salman, and you see women in workplace, and you see women in leadership
yeah,
positions in workplace. So yeah, in the past things might have been different, but I believe the things are changing now, and the things are progressing at a good pace. Um, Another important thing which I realized, maybe it was my misconception, that the cost of living in Saudi would be as much as in markets like Dubai and Abu Dhabi in UAE. But
yeah,
after coming here, I do realize that the cost of living is a fraction of what is in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So definitely, a lot of changes when it comes to a lot of a lot of misconceptions, but these are the two bigger misconceptions that I had. And the other one, the thoughts on Saudi job market. I think the market is picking up as the global market is starting to pick up post COVID. I think COVID had an impact on almost across,
Yeah.
all sectors across all the markets. But now that as people are getting vaccinated and the companies are getting back to work, the companies are beginning to pick up. The retailers are opening. So I think with that whole with that whole circle, the job market is picking up, and I'm sure it'll be keeping you quite busy at this moment.
Yeah, of course, most definitely. Yeah, I mean, look, plenty of people have those misconceptions about working and living in the Middle East and Saudi, as you mentioned before. But I think it's a key point you make about the cost of living. It is genuinely, cheaper to live there in comparison to the likes of Dubai or Abu Dhabi. And on the same note as that, salaries are the same. If you had a finance director position in Saudi versus a finance director for the same company in Dubai, the salary would still be the same. So I suppose if you were an expat looking to save money to send back home or whichever, it's obviously a little bit easier to do in Saudi, which is good and definitely a bonus for you guys as well. Staying on the topic of the job market, and I appreciate that it's been 3 months since you've now been working for Panda, but from a skills point of view, what have you found most recently has been important when adding talent within the accounting and finance function?
I think I know you're referring to the 3 months, which is definitely I've been in Panda, but in general, whether I was in Canada or I'm in Saudi,
Yeah.
I believe something which is some skills that we look for in accounting and finance function are consistent,
Mhm.
across across the globe. And some of the key skill sets that we look for are analytical and problem solving mindset. When it comes to the technical side, accounting is no longer a processing function. It used to be a processing function. It has become a lot more analytical function. And because the processing has been taken over by automation, robotics, and all those things have come up, right?
Of
So
course.
it is now become sort of more, as I was saying, analytical and problem solving function. So how quickly can you understand the problems, and how quickly can you react to solving those problems? That is on the technical side. And if I talk soft skills, I think communication is the key, because as finance, you are the finance business partner and you talk to various stakeholders. So communication is definitely one of the key areas that we look for as a
Yeah,
skill set when looking for candidates.
of course, most definitely. Um, and I feel that just as important and sticking on those soft skills is the culture and environment of not just a finance and accounting team, but any team across any business. It's important to keep that culture and an environment good and strong. But you're a manager of obviously a large finance and accounting function with over 100 employees reporting into you. Um, how do you feel we as recruiters, as managers, etc., how can we improve the environment and culture of a department, and in your case, a finance and accounting department?
Absolutely. So I think, when it comes to having a positive culture, or how maintaining a positive culture in an organization, one of
Hmm.
the things, one of the key things for and keeping the colleagues engaged is the open and honest communication, and, bringing in transparency into the function.
Hmm.
In my previous role as well, I'd seen that, as you involve colleagues in the decision making, they get the sense of ownership, which
Hmm.
I believe goes a long way. And it was reflective in the engagement scores, when we used to have anonymous surveys and something of those sort. And, I've been trying a similar thing here in Panda as well. And I'm getting a very positive response from my colleagues, and it has helped me actually get the acknowledgement from colleagues, and respect from them. in just such a short span of time. So I think it's working well. So that is something which is really important to me as well, open and honest communication. And then the second thing is, there should be a mix of talent. As an example, the positions do become vacant. So how do you develop your colleagues internally so that when the role becomes available, they are considered as well, besides, and not just hiring talent from outside. So I think, how do you develop colleagues internally and provide them opportunities for growth? I think that's really important. And I believe the third thing, which is, uh, culture of any team, and it's not just accounting and finance as such, lead by example. Lead by example is something, as a leader, you leave an image, and people look up to you. So I think, if you lead by example uh, and lead from the front, it definitely creates an impact on the team. So I think these are a few things which help create a positive culture and a positive vibe on the team.
Cool. Absolutely. Okay, and finally, just to sort of wrap up, Sam, obviously we spoke about yourself and your role at the start. I think I was in touch with you for a period of time before I actually had you in process for Panda. I know you were keen to make that move back to the Middle East. Look, I then got a position for a director of financial controls to match somebody who comes from a large supermarket background or supermarket chain background. Obviously, you did that with Loblaw in Canada for what, 7 years or so, and you were a perfect match for Panda when they were recruiting for this position in particular in a number of ways. Obviously, we then matched you to the role. You went through the interview process and you accepted to then move over 3 months ago. But overall, how have you found the experience with A, moving back to the Middle East, and B, registering as a candidate with Michael Page, and then obviously seeing that registration through to a placement with Panda?
Yeah, I think it has been an interesting journey, to say, Jack. And I'm happy that Michael Page has supported me all the way through. I remember coming to the Michael Page Dubai office back in 2018 when I met some of her peers, Andy and Devanjali back at that time. And I think we were in constant touch. And I think it's about getting the right role, and I think that was told to me at that very moment. You could click a role in 2 days, or you can click a role in 2 years, 3 years, and it's about that. It's about getting the right role, and we all know with the senior roles it becomes even more difficult because you need to have the right match from both the company's perspective as well as the candidate's perspective. So coming back to Michael Page, I think I was well supported through in these years, and even when we started working on this project, Jack, with yourself, I think it was really great. I know it required sometimes a lot of patience because the recruitment process went quite long from the company side, but the sort of perseverance from both our ends, from yourself and from myself, I think continuous follow-up on your side, especially the whole HR management in the company had changed. So there were a lot of things that happened, and thank you for continuing to follow up and providing excellent customer service. I think that's what it is all about. And keeping engaged, keeping myself engaged, because over a span of 6 months someone could definitely lose the interest. And so kudos to you. And I know I was keen to come here, and I felt really supported all through the way over the 6 months, from the time I got presented until the time I actually joined the organization. So it was a great experience working with Michael Page.
Cool. Glad to hear it. And like you say, it was a lengthy recruitment process, like they sometimes are for those senior positions. But we got there in the end, and I guess that good things come to those who wait and have a little bit of patience. But look, Sam, it was good as always to catch up with you. Appreciate you running through those questions and answers with me this afternoon. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon, and hopefully seeing you in Saudi next time I'm over.
Absolutely. We should definitely go out for lunch when you're here.
Definitely. All right. Cheers, Sam. Take care. Thank you.